Greetings and welcome to our second episode of Morrowind Mini-Mod Showcases. As always, I'm your host, Talk Elf Guy, and this time around we have a slightly smaller mod that we'll be taking a look at. The latest, greatest housing mod, Gold Edition, by the V8 Man. And obviously this is a housing mod, a pretty large one at that. It adds a new realtor service with about a dozen homes for sale in a variety of Morrowind cities and regions. And, you know, that said, I personally think this is a pretty average quality mod. There's not a whole lot about it that, really stands out in the quality department. And truth be told, we probably wouldn't have covered it on our main show of Morrowind Modding Showcases, but, having said that, there's not a whole lot of large-scale house-selling mods like this out there, so I thought it might be fun to spend just a little bit of time looking at this one in particular. And who knows, you may well want to give this one a try. And as always, download links are down in the video description below, so let's get started. The first thing you'll find with this mod is that there's a new realtor's office in Vivek called Comfort Properties and Travel Services. And this is where you can buy most of the homes included in this mod package. I say most because some of the houses that you can eventually get are actually part of this mod's main quest. Which, we'll talk a bit about that later on. And anyway, you can ask for information about each home from the desk clerk here, who'll provide, fairly descriptive answers to your questions. And in order to actually buy your home, you need to buy a key through the old, bartering system. Homes range in price from 1,000 to over 50,000 gold on the higher end. So some of these are homes that you're going to need to save up for. And in addition to all that, there's also a few miscellaneous quests that you can do here at the office. Now, we're not going to be looking at every one of these homes in this showcase, but we will be looking at a decent variety, namely the larger homes and some of the more unique ones to give you guys an idea of what to expect here. And we're going to start out with one of my personal favourite homes in this package, a small guar farm outside of Tel Brenora, which has a small stone path leading, back into town, a small two-story common-style house, and of course there's a lot of guars on the property, one of which can even be ordered to fire year-round if you so desire, though it doesn't actually have any companion features, so it's mostly, a sort of cosmetic companion or pet. And here you can see the interior, and it's a fairly modest two-story home. I believe the price of this place is about 15,000 gold in total, so it's modestly expensive. Each house and property that you buy comes with a welcome note that points out some of the details of the house and its location, as well as a deed to the property, which doesn't actually do anything, of course, but it's a nice addition for immersion purposes. The bottom floor here includes a dining area and study, while upstairs you'll find an alchemy station, bedroom, and a training area. And fair warning, a lot of these homes have creatures in them that you'll need to, fight and kill. It's all part of the mod's main quest, which is a bit strange, truth be told. Basically, the main quest starts whenever you kill some of these intruders, and eventually it'll lead you off to dungeon delving, boss battles, and even potentially romance with one of the realtors. So basically, it's a bit all over the place, honestly. But this is a mod from 2004, so, what can you say? And moving on, here you can see the Balmora property, situated on that small island outside of town, and it should be mentioned that this mod will conflict with, well, a ton of other mods. And a lot of these houses are in very popular locations where a lot of other, mods have already been built in the past, plus they include landscape changes, so they'll conflict with not just other house mods, but also Morrowind Rebirth and most town expansion mods. But anyway, moving inside, you'll again be attacked by various intruders, and the main quest is a bit odd. It basically follows the houses that you buy. The author probably meant for you to, start with some low-level house somewhere and work your way up through the quest line, because as it is, you can actually skip to the end of the main quest by just buying the most expensive house and going straight to the boss battle. It's really just all a bit odd, and, anyway, the Balmora house here does come with a dining room, alchemy lab, storage hall, and a master bedroom. Not to mention a couple of guest beds that you'll find in the basement for company. Now, real quick, I wanted to take a look at some of these smaller homes, and this shack, which you'll find in Gunnar Mark, is one of the smallest homes that you can buy at about 1,000 gold, which comes with some, basic furnishings. And another cheap home is the one outside of Cedar. I think this one is about 3,000 gold or so. It's certainly, pretty plain looking. And here's the interior of the Cedar house. Again, pretty basic. It includes a bed, dining area, and in the basement you'll find storage and a training area. And in case you're wondering, none of these new homes use dynamic lighting, unfortunately. They use the bright default lighting settings, which I personally don't really like. But it's easy to fix on your own if you wanted to, just open up the CS and change the light settings. But anyway, this next house is one of the Raydoran properties, which again, you have to fight to claim since there's a bunch of giant skeletons in here for some reason. But anyway, once that's all taken care of, you'll find a small bedroom, including a teleport ring, and many of the more expensive properties include a multiple location teleport ring to teleport you between your homes, and there's also a storage room here, a dining room down below, along with a training area, alchemical lab, and a small smithy. And you'll notice that a lot of these houses have some unbalancing loot in them. It's not too bad really, since you do need to buy them first, but still the loot is actually worth more than what you actually spend on the homes, which is a bit strange in my opinion. I mean, what are these realtors doing? They could have made so much more money by just, selling the stuff in these houses than going around building them. But anyway, one of the houses that you can buy is actually a storage tower with a small but open space on the first floor, with lots of display tables and storage containers for you to store items in. And there's also a set of armored display mannequins in the basement as well, if you're wondering about that. And upstairs on the second floor, you have a dining area, study, alchemical lab, and a bedroom, all in the same common quarters. And now the last house that we'll be looking at today is this one here, a large Velothi-style abode on the border between the Grayslands and the Malaga Moor regions. And you can see it actually uses the sort of Vivek temple exterior with a small little guest house. And this is actually the final house that you get as a reward for finishing the mod's main quest. And the interior includes a large open entry hall with some gultons, a small breakfast table, and a sort of oven fireplace in the center. And off to one wing, you'll find the display hall and alchemical lab, and there's also a bedroom on the other side. And again, I just have to say that the overall quality level of all this is pretty average. Though it's kind of a unique mod to be sure. Not only do you need to buy these homes, but there's also a strange and curious main quest involved, as well as side quests, so there's a fair amount of content to explore. It does have a ton of mod conflicts though, so it's obviously not for everyone, but if you want to check it out, there's a download link down in the video description below. And with that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on Tuesday with our next Mod of the Month video, and again on Saturday for a special tour of Silgrad Tower.